Heyo! Hello, everyone! Welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Tonight, we are not going to be having a trash fire because I was too tired to watch a movie. And I was like, fuck it, I want to chat with my lady and my friends about something awesome. And we are chatting about something very awesome. We're talking about Full Moon Productions and some of our favorite Full Moon movies. Um, uh, Jane, help me out here because I'm a bit rusty. But Full Moon Productions was started by Charles Band back in the
Yes.
80s. He was kind of
Yes.
like a more. Was he an understudy of Roger Corman? Did he kind of get his start off like doing stuff with Roger Corman, or am I
Yes.
totally
And
mixing stuff
he
up?
had a spirit. He also had he had kind of the independent spirit. He did have something before Full Moon, but it kind of went under. And then he decided he's from Rome. Then he like came to America and he's like, I'm going to make a studio. And he made Full Moon. And it was surprisingly successful. Like everyone didn't think it would work, and it worked. And we have some. I was telling Trenchy before we started, like the kind of I guess the debate is: are you a full moon person or are you a trauma person? Because they're very similar yet they're very different. And I think I'm a full moon person myself.
Yeah, I Full Moon Productions. Dare I say? I never thought I'd say this, but Full Moon Productions are just that bit classier than Trauma
I
because
think so too.
you gotta they got the balls to try and do remakes of the Pendulum and other kind of Edgar Allan Poe stories and H.P. Lovecraft stories like From Beyond and stuff like that.
They
Um,
do. The pendulum is actually a culmination of a couple of Poe stories. It's not just one.
yeah.
It's a couple of them.
Um, I'd say classy with ginormous air quotes though, because you watch a
Well,
full moon
it
movie,
depends on what you're watching, don't you think? Because some of them are pretty damn good.
they are good. There's good acting. They're certainly better acted and better kind of cast than a trauma movie. But you guaranteed you're gonna see boobs, you're gonna see gore, and you're gonna see some hammy kind of plots and sets in some cases. In some cases, not so much, because you told me a little trivia fact that I love about the Charles Band and location, one particular location. But before I announce my pick, Jen, what is your favorite full moon movies and why?
It's probably not going to surprise anyone. I've already told this story, and I don't think even if they didn't know what it was, it's going to surprise anyone. Castle Freak is probably my all-time favorite. And if you don't know what Castle Freak is about, we have alcoholism, tragedy, like because of alcoholism, and Barbara Crampton. And Barbara Crampton also Full Moon gave us a shitload of Barbara Crampton, and also fun little trivia. She was in 3 movies, including Castle Freak, where we get to see her nipples. And in Castle Freak, you don't know if her nipples are real or if there's pasties. Fun fact for you all.
The more you know.
Exactly. But I love, and it's about, and they're in a castle. The guy inherits. There's a tragedy in the family, basically, with Castle Freak because of alcoholism, and one of their kids is blind because of an accident, because of drunk driving. Don't drunk drive, kids, because it's bad. And Barbara Crampton's all pissed off because he almost murdered her children, and any mother would be. And I also really like the fact that like she's pissed throughout a lot of the movie, and we kind of go through arcs. See, this is where I say that there are movies like The Ginger Dead Man with Full Moon, but then there's movies like Castle Freak. Yeah, Castle Freak, and yes, everyone loves the dong, because we have a freak living in a castle, and he has a big floppy dong. But I love big floppy dongs.
Anywho, before we talk more about floppy dons, I just want to give a quick hello to everyone who's joined so far. We always have the awesome Russell Dorsey. We have Strange Monkey reviews. If you haven't checked out Strange Monkey's channel, fucking check him out. But wait till after our stream, obviously. We also have Grande's Graveyard, fucking awesome dude, funny dude, absolute fucking gent. You have to check out his channel. Mr. Dan and Horror, we also got Mr. Dan and Horror checking us out. And yeah,
Hello,
again,
everyone.
Hi, guys.
we have Trenchy below as well. We have Trenchy. But guys, thanks a million for joining us. So you obviously as well. This is like the third teaming. Obviously not Reanimator because that was Empire Pictures, but this is the third teaming of Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Compton. The second one, was this done before or after From Beyond?
I believe it was done after. I think it was, I believe it was after. And From Beyond's a great one too.
That's another of favorites of mine. But yeah, again, I love the poster. Hang on a minute, Jen, because I love the poster for Castle Freak because there is an absolutely fucking awesome poster that I think absolutely kicks ass. Give me 1 second.
Actually,
That
Marty,
poster. Oh, sorry, Jen.
Oh no, I don't know if it's that. I don't think it's that poster. But do you know that the poster for Castle Freak was made before the story was even written?
Oh, so was it one of those things that the poster was kind of how they got the movie pitched? It was part of the pitch.
Kind of. They had kind of a thing, and they made the poster before any of the story was written. It's a fun little trivia fact.
It's a kick-ass fact. Speaking of facts, you have another interesting trivia fact about the movie as well, right?
Yes, I do, and this one's super interesting, and I'm sure a lot of people know it. But that castle, the actual castle that's in the movie, was owned by Charles Band. He had and it was like 140 rooms, and it's like 30 miles outside of Rome. And he basically was looking for any scripts that weren't musicals because I guess they didn't want to, have any sort of thing with Rocky Horror. But basically, at the time, they wanted any kind of scripts that involved castles because he's like, I have this big old castle, we're gonna use it. And it makes sense because it housed the crew and the cast and everything else, so it cut on production costs. Also, it's just fucking cool to have a castle. Who doesn't want a castle?
That is fucking kick-ass to own a castle. Is there any kind of standout moments in the movie for you that kind of elevates us above other stuff and makes it a bit kind of more that bit more compelling than other kind of horror movies?
Yes, this is a very compelling horror movie, and yes, I love the actual freak in the castle. You have both sympathy and compassion, but you're also repulsed by it. But for me, what has always hit home is the family dynamic, like just the dealing with alcoholism, and just like how Barbara Crampton is just so pissed at him for most of the movie, and it is his fault. And like, as a mother, do you forgive? And then I like how in the middle of the movie how things change a little bit, but I like at the beginning just how pissed off she is at her husband, and it's her children, and and he has to live with all this guilt, and then he gets a hooker, and it's just, there's so many things that are both just there. It's a wonderful movie, and I think it's like you said, it's a little more highbrow than you would think with most full moon movies. I really think that I fucking love Castle Freak.
One thing I gotta go with as well is as well as Crompton, Combs fucking sells this dude who's just racked with guilt, and that comes to a head in the movie's finale when he decides to use himself to protect his family. He essentially kind of pulls the freak off the side of the castle to both their deaths. He's kind of like, well, I let my family down once, I'm not going to do it again. And he makes
there's redemption.
Sacrifice. Sorry, guys, spoilers for a movie that was made in the early 90s, but it's great, and it's like there's also a bit of a murder mystery in there. Obviously, we know it's the freak that does it, but like where he gets stitched up for killing the hooker, like there's that kind of like There's something a bit more than your average kind of like monster and loose in the castle. Also, do you think they were kind of channeling James Whale's Frankenstein with the kids?
I was just about to say this because I was going to ask you, because you kind of feel for the castle freak, like the humanity that you feel for Frankenstein. It was weird that you asked that because I was just thinking that I have the same kind of pity that I have for when I'm watching Frankenstein, because it kind of has, it's not the freak's fault exactly. I mean, he does eat pussy at the beginning of the movie, but that's kind of cool.
But yeah, no. But yeah, he's a cannibalist. Not a cannibalist. I don't like using the term mongoloid kind of creature. You get what I mean. He's this malformed creature that you're repulsed by, but you also have an immense amount of pity for as well. Trench, have you seen this one?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Castle Freak?
Oh, I like it. I think it's really good. I agree. It's a little bit more serious than most full moon movies that I've seen. Not that I've seen a lot, but I really enjoy it. I think it's really good, and like everybody in the movie does a really good job. And I like how it's kind of gray. Like a lot of the characters are gray.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Trench. That's a really good point, because they're very, they show they're good and they're bad. No one's exactly a saint, and no one's exactly the devil incarnated either. That's a really good point.
Yeah, because even the cop is a little biased because the hooker was his girlfriend or something, or had his baby, right? So even he's a little bit like, he's a little bit meaner to Jeffrey Combs because he thinks that he killed the woman of his child, or the mother of his child.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Now maybe I'm picking this up wrong, Jen, and you're going to take the piss out of me. Is there the blind daughter? She's kind of like pawed by the castle freak.
Yes. Yes. It's kind of a twisted Beauty and the Beast, if you will.
Yeah. Is there a deliberate attempt at eroticism in that, or is it like, no, this is pure and utter sexual assault? There's no kind of.
Well, they're both, she's blind, so the world doesn't see her the way she is. Some people wouldn't see her the way she is. So, I mean, you could take that stance, like he sees her in a different way than the world does, because, the castle freak sees her differently than the other do. Or you could say he's just a dirty pervert that, likes him young, and the fact she's blind, she can't get away as easily. So that's a plus. You could take it either way, but I get what you mean. Like that, there could be an argument to that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking the head, and I'm seeing.
You've been hanging around way too long. Hello, Scott.
I mean, you could get like a Beauty and the Beast thing, but I don't know. I think it's just very primal. He's not really, he's like kind of like. He's just like more animalistic, I think.
Yeah.
True. But like there could be like a part of him that does, like, even an animal can have affection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he has to be destroyed because he's going around killing hookers and trying to molest blind girls and stuff. So you can't have that. It's not kosher.
But do you think, like, if they had treated him differently, like the world had, maybe it would be different? Or do you think he was? Do you think there's some under it? Always, because there was something about that. I think that's another reason why it appeals to me, because you do really feel, or at least I do. I feel a little bit more compassion for it. Of course, but then he could just be a dirty pervert. When Barbara Crampton, has her boobs out and stuff, she has a cross, but it's not like she's looking at the cross. Hello, Cara.
Hey, Cara.
Hello.
Cara, what's your thoughts on Castle Freak?
I haven't seen it in a long time, but you had my attention at hooker killing and blind girl molesting.
Yeah, we're trying to see is there a comparable kind of connection between James Whale's Frankenstein's monster and the freaking Castle Freak, and can he be just as sympathetic, even though he's kind of like this rabid kind of, I don't know, what would you call him, Jen? Just kind of
animalistic.
Tragic because it's not. We got to remember that scene at the beginning and stuff. Before the old woman dies, and all he knows is kind of he gets whipped. So I mean, and he's in this dank thing. So it's not exactly entirely his fault. This is all he's ever known. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. I'm with you. I'm with you, but at the same time, he is, as Cara and Trenchy said, he's more animalistic.
He is.
There's no real malvoyance to him. It's more that he's this uncivilized kind of beast. That's
well, if no one took the time, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead, Cara.
I was going to say, if no one took the time to treat him like a person, how can you expect him to act like one?
Yeah. Because he was in that dungeon for who knows how long. That woman was really old that was feeding him, so we don't even know his age.
Yeah.
Kind
of a man-child?
Yeah.
Oh, there go the dogs again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really say Arrested Development because we really don't know how, I wouldn't say intellectual, but I mean, we really don't know how advanced or delayed he is because he's in this very primal state.
I would agree.
Is it nature nurture, or is it something to do with a deficiency from birth or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
There's no way to really what do you say
gauge.
To
gauge
it? Yeah, to gauge that. Thank you.
No problem.
But I'm gonna jump off that movie and I'm gonna go on to Trenchy's favorite one, because I know that hang on, sorry. I know that he's been wanting to talk about this for a while now, and I will just Subspecies Trenchy.
Yeah.
What give us the lowdown on Subspecies.
This is my second favorite franchise from Full Moon. I really like it. It's about the first movie's about these people that go to Romania and they get caught up in between this kind of, I wouldn't say war, but kind of vampire war between two brothers. One of them's the good vampire brother. His name's Stefan or something. And the other one's Radu. And Radu's this Nosferatu type vampire who killed his vampire father to get control of this thing called the Bloodstone that gives him power. And he can cut off his fingers and little red blood demons run around. It's awesome.
That is cool.
Trench, why Jen wants to know what's your affinity and affection for this movie, or have you summed it all up in that intro? Is there something in particular that you like about this movie?
Well, it's one of my favorite versions of vampires because it's kind of got that classic feel, but also that modern feel. And I just like the saga between Radu and his fledgling Michelle, and how they kind of go back and forth between being enemies and being not friends, but like on the same side. It's an interesting story of like control and trying not to be a monster and stuff.
So is Radu is he an anti-hero or is he an up and up villain?
I think there's sympathy for him at parts, but he's a villain. There's no good intentions. Like, even though he loves Michelle, it's more of a possessive kind of love. It's like
he's also kind of like a rock star.
Oh, a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, he kind of has that rock star energy.
What, like Lestat in Queen of the Damned?
Well, my first thought was the energy drink.
That too.
I saw this one ages ago, and one edition I did like was one of the guys powdered down a crucifix and put it in shotgun shells. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. That was cool. Also, Trenchy, was Angus Shrim. Did Angus Shrim play their father? He was the tall man.
I don't know if he's in it. He might be, though.
I thought he played the father. Guys, anyone in the chat there?
I think so.
I think the dog agrees as well. The dog says Angus Shrim.
Head of the family is a great one. Dino's right. Head of the family is a weird one. Little slow at first, but it's weird.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one. I've never.
Me neither.
You guys are gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, like if you have gummies, you definitely want to have one or two before you sit and watch that one.
Okay. But yeah, Subspecies Trench. How many are there?
Well, there's 4, and then there's a spinoff called Vampire Journals. I haven't seen it. There's a 5th one, but I don't know. They've been saying they're trying to make this 5th one for a while now. But they said the main actors are coming back, but nobody knows if it's really happening or not, because they were supposed to be filming it at like 2020 or 2021. Nobody knows.
Okay. Jen, where would you put this on the scale of full moon movies? Would you put it high up the ladder or low in the ladder or somewhere in the middle?
It wouldn't be super high for me, but it wouldn't be super low. Like, Trench is right. Like, I hadn't thought about this movie, but I remember watching it a lot. Like, the movie channel played a shit ton of full moon movies. Insomniac. Like, I was a big, and Joe Bob Briggs when he was on there too. And I was a big Insomniac as a kid. So, like, I would be up at 2 and 3 in the morning and watching these movies. And they played that movie a lot, and a lot of the sequels as well. And I think I saw them out of order. So I was a little confused. I think that's what it was. Yeah. I didn't see them in the right order. So I was always confused. I was like, I know there's more to this than that. But they're good movies. You know, when people talk about vampire movies, these ones should be represented way more than they are. This is something I feel like I need to do a deep dive with.
They really... Oh, my bad.
Well, go ahead, Trench. Go ahead.
I was going to say, they really do interesting things with the lore, like the Bloodstone and the little red demons. But they also, like, when they're about to fly, they'll show a shadow or something, and the shadow will they'll disappear or something, and it will show they're teleporting. Like, they'll do cool things with the shadows and stuff.
Teleport?
Well, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of dope. They kind of, like, become their shadow. It's a thing. But it's dope.
I think it's a budget thing, but you still get the point.
Okay. Kara, what's your view on...
And that's another thing about full moon, like...
No, go, Jen, and I'll ask Kara once you made your
I'm
point.
sorry. I didn't mean to cut you crush. I didn't mean to cut a crush. I just meant that's another wonderful thing about Full Moon is that they kind of sometimes a lack of a budget isn't always a bad thing because yes, sometimes it doesn't come as good as maybe they wanted it to, but there's something very charming. There's a lot of heart, and a lot of like the 90s and 80s movies in particularly with Full Moon. I don't know, there's a stylistic thing that even though there's a lack of budget, it's still, you can't not say that it has a certain charm and style to it, and that's
Yes.
a hard trick to pull off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, their creativity as well. As someone who wouldn't be as a good filmmaker would have the lack of budget as a handicap, whereas this, Jen, you reckon makes them that even more creative because they got to find more elaborate ways to get around the lack of budget. Okay.
Yeah.
Kara, what's your view on the Subspecies series?
I love them. Like I mean, I was introduced to them as a kid, so I didn't really know what I was watching. So I had seen the first one. I seen the first two, not really knowing what they were, and I liked them. I know years later, when I was old enough to pick my own movies, I rented the third one, and I was like, hey, this is familiar. So I went back through the stacks of the video shop, and I looked up the first two, and I just fell in love with it. I rewatched the whole series. At least at that time, it was only the first three.
I I like it, but I do think Radu is a bit kind of, I don't know what it is. He just
Overplays.
a wee bit, a wee bit. I'm not. I'm not trying. And by Christ, I'm not going to shit in Trenchy's movie.
No, it's okay. I like the reason I get why people would be like put off because he is over the top and like theatrical, but that's why I like it. But I get why people wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I like that he's always talking with a mouthful of blood and he's always all sloppy and it just gushes out.
The other thing that gets me with the character is I keep on thinking of pasta sauce when I say his name. It's like, wait, ragu? Ragu? What? But yeah, no. Trenchy, if someone was getting into Full Moon, would you say Subspecies is a good place to start? Or
yeah.
Okay.
I would say Subspecies or Puppet Master because Puppet Master is my favorite, but Subspecies like second. Like I saw it when I was a kid on a DVD, and I didn't know what it was the first movie. And I just saw him chop off his fingers and the little red people, and I'm like, I've never seen this before. This is awesome. They should do this more often.
What about Seed People? If any of you are familiar with that one.
No,
I've never
would
heard
that
of
be, Kara? Would that be one of your favorites from Full Moon?
I honestly I lean more towards the subspecies just because I've always been partial to vampires, but I know it's their take on the pod people, or what do you call it? What's it called?
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
There
Kind of
you go.
deal?
I couldn't remember. Yeah, it's their take on it.
Is there anything kind of different or that a bit more clever? They put a spin on the kind of alien doppelganger thing.
Well, I mean, like all the creatures. I mean, like they are plant-like, but I mean, they're not people that have been transformed or taken over. Like they are actual. They're not plants like in Troll, but they move around differently. They actually are little creatures.
Oh, cool.
Like you actually get either puppets or they're people in costume.
Jane was saying that tends to be a trend that the puppetry seems to play a big part, whether you're puppets or dolls or something. That's the thing. What would you say, Kara, Subspecies is your favorite kind of entry into the Full Moon catalog? Though, yeah.
It was the first one I saw, so yeah, I'd say that it is just because vampires, and then it was the first thing I had seen, and same thing. Like I wasn't familiar with Nosferatu. I was still a kid, and I liked those long fingers. I'd never seen anything like that before. Same thing with like the dripping of the blood and the little imps coming out.
Yeah, that sounds that sounds badass. I saw it ages ago. I didn't really pay much attention to it. I need to go back and watch it. Dino says Lurking Fear is great. Also, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, I vaguely remember that one. And what was the other one? The something Angel, The Ascent. That one was kind of cool. Dark
Oh, yeah,
Angel.
yeah, Dark Angel: The Ascent. This cute red-headed haired chick.
Yes. And she make her outfit out of a chair.
Yeah. She leaves hell, much to the annoyance of her parents, and I think she has like a magic kind of demon dog that follows her, and
I
she has
think
to like
so.
fucking fight evil. It's just, it's fun.
It's very
it's definitely
whimsy.
fun.
Yeah, I remember that. Like those were, I mean, like the late 80s, early 90s, because I was a little kid, so that's like my era of full moon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Some would argue it's the
What was
best
the other
era.
one? Videodrome, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that one's pretty bad now, but at the time it was kind of cool.
What happens in that one, Kara?
It was kind of like they were playing off of the AI, I think, and you get sucked into like this video game world, but the CG does not hold up at all.
Oh, mm. I
So you're
I
like walking through this computer generated world, and like whatever attacks you, I mean, it's for real, and I mean, it's an old, I guess, trope.
I gotta check that. I gotta check that one out. Um, well,
No,
yes,
not
Grandy,
Videodrome. Arcade. Videodrome is
the
I stole
Cronenberg
the.
movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
I had my titles mixed up. Sorry.
No, you're grand. I'd be the same. Grandy, I actually love the fuck it, we might as well talk about it now. I love the remake of The Pit and the Pendulum. Lance Henriksen
Yes,
kicks
that one's good.
fucking arse. Um, I'm gonna let Kara run off the plot and why this one is great because we're going around in the circle. Kara, your thoughts and views and why do you think this version of Fit and Pendulum is so good?
Oh, I haven't seen that one in a long time either. I'm probably going to ruin it. So who is it? I forget the guy that he
Lance
Lance
accuses a
Hendrickson.
Henriksen from
woman.
Aliens.
Yeah, like
Lance Hendrickson.
is he the witch
He's
hunter? Like he's in love with the
Turko
woman,
He's a
and
Mada.
monk.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's in love with the woman, and he accuses her of witchcraft so he can imprison her.
and it's pretty cool because like if she confesses she's burnt, they'll burn her at the
Hmm.
stake. So he has her tongue cut out, and there's just a really traumatic scene. I felt so bad where he's on top of her, sexually assaulting her, and there's like it's to make matters worse. There's a big fucking sword hanging above the two of them. It's like, well,
That's
talk
kind of
about
hot.
unsafe sex. Talk. Well, yeah, no, it's like you wouldn't want to do a history lesson on this. Yeah, I think the real Clark Mad was a piece of shit, but not to the extent of this. Oliver Reed is in this. He's in
Mm-hmm.
a blink and you'll miss it moment. He gets
Yeah,
buried in the fucking wall.
I was about to say I don't remember him in that.
Yeah, again, it's a blink and you'll miss it moment. Um, but yeah, no, it kicks arse. There is, for some reason, there's a lot of people choking on well, what's supposed to be vomit, but it's just green kind of pea soup. There's this bit where this woman is being strangled and she vomits out pea soup, and
See,
this other woman is
pea
like,
soup is very misleading. There's no urine in it.
oh gosh. Uh,
Yummy.
but yeah, it's a cool movie, but you wouldn't want to do your history lesson. Jen, what's your thoughts on Pit and the Pendulum?
I'm like you, Marty. I love him probably for Lance. I don't know if that's his best performance because Pumpkinhead exists, but it's definitely in my top 3 or 4 favorite Lance Hendrickson moments,
Yeah.
movies. He's really good. I like the bastard Marty, or can we have? Is it just he's just lovesick?
I
And
think a lot of
hopeless
it.
romantic, because does he love her in a way?
Nah, it's obsession.
It is. It's like I mean that Jen, you're good. Okay, I don't know if you ever watched Lindsay Ellen's the nostalgia chick, but she was saying that like
Yes.
she was saying that the most highly rated crush Disney guy crush women had was Rollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's a project, girls. We can change him. He's a project. We can change him. So what if
Oh,
he did
Jesus.
I don't think you can change Lance Henriksen in this one. Like
No,
he
but
is.
you just kind of feel, I don't know, as watch little Jen watching it was like he really must love her to go through all this.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is like possessiveness. Like you confuse ownership with love.
Again, keep in mind his character is a religious fanatic who commits self-flagellation. Like
which is another
he's
really
got
interesting dynamic of the movie right there, because you know you're so fucked up that you know you have any of these thoughts, you're unpure. So he's really fighting with himself, and that's something that's kind of accurate. Even though this is again another over the top movie, you could say this actually has a little bit more meat to it. It's kind of in the same way of Castle Freak. It's a little deeper than you might think.
It is a bit more highbrow, but you still got the boobies and you still got the gore. And you got a witch that explodes. You got an exploded witch whose bones turn into shrapnel, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, was that the older woman that actually teaches the younger girl, hey, you can actually defend yourself if you learn this stuff?
Yeah. That's the one who teaches her how to speak without using her tongue. It's a cool movie. Great cast again. Lance Henriksen kicks arse. Nice set pieces. Nice costumes. Don't try and do your history project on the Inquisition using this. That's all I'm gonna say.
The Inquisition.
What a show!
Oh, was that the Paul Naschy one? Or are you talking about something else?
No, it's the history of the world. Mel Brooks' history of the world, Cara.
Oh, I heard Inquisition. I started thinking Paul Naschy.
No, there's a song. There's a song called The Inquisition.
Oh, okay.
The Inquisition. What a show where you mess with us, we'll cut off your toe. The Inquisition did it, and I'm not going to sing anymore because we'll get copyright claimed. Right.
Okay. I totally went left field.
No problem.
So you cannot mention Full Moon without mentioning this film series right here.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah.
These guys. This film series is, I think, the staple of Full Moon. If Full Moon was Disney, this franchise is their Mickey Mouse. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you're right.
Jane,
you mean if Disney had boobs and a penis?
A floppy penis.
Hey, Coffin Crew. Jen, do you want to give us the rundown on the... Oh, sorry, Claire.
Puppet Master. Now, I know 2 is your favorite, correct?
Yeah.
Mine actually, I think I'm in the minority because I know Christian loves 2 too, and I know a lot of other people. I actually like the first one, and you know why I like it,
Why?
Marty? I know why.
Necrophilia?
Nazis. Well, that's
okay.
the Nazis. word. Nazis. And it's
Oh
it's
gosh.
sort of a German Pinocchio in a way, except there's more than one. It's because he loves his puppets.
I've got no strings to put me down. I'm gonna kill a Fraulein.
It's again. This is one where you would say that Full Moon really shows, because like the puppetry work, even though this wasn't like a lot of money behind it, the puppetry work was amazing. Just what they were able to do. I think it holds up to this day. Maybe I'm in the minority for thinking that, but I honestly think that the puppetry work still holds up to this very day.
You are dead right in kind of regards of stop motion. Some of the stop motion scenes are absolutely fucking brilliant. Who's Trenchy guys? Who's the brick shit house one with the drill in his head?
Oh, Tunneler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just his movements and stuff is fucking brilliant.
Leech Woman.
She's just a leech woman with leeches on her mouth. Beware the leech woman.
And it has that. And again, a lot of Full Moon's movies have kind of that real gothic feel. They all kind of have kind of a gothic.
Yeah.
I think Puppet Master also has a gothic feel.
Most definitely.
But it's a good one. Why? But why do you think more people like the second one more than the first one? This is for everybody.
Now I could be dead wrong, but I think maybe I'm mixing it up now. I think it goes a bit more into Toulon's origin with that
a
one.
little bit. That's where the second one's where Toulon comes back and he's evil. Bye, Kara. Good talking to you.
It was.
I like that. Which one has your man Lynch as the fucking Gestapo officer? And you find out that Blade, he used his soul to make Blade.
That's part 3.
Yeah, I like 3 as well.
Yeah, 3 is where they're actually back in the Nazi times, and you see Toulon in his village fighting the Nazis.
Yeah, that's a cool one. And there's another one where they fight Aztec fucking demons.
That's my favorite. That's part 4. They fight them in part 4, part 5, and there's kind of a thing in part 7, but that's more of shadow Egyptian people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jen, you wanted to say something, did you?
I just was trying to think, but I can't remember which one he directed. The director from Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3, which is my favorite, directed either Part 2 or Part 3. I cannot remember for the life of me, but I know he directed one of them, and I'm trying to think. Really good director. There's a backstory with this guy, and really good director, and I'm trying to sit here and think if he did Part 3 or Part 4, but I know he directed one of them.
The dude behind Bone Tomahawk done The Littlest Reich.
I gotta see the newer ones.
I was fucking blown away by that. I was like, are you for fucking real? Okay.
Have you seen The Littlest Reich? It's not bad.
I don't know. Again, I'm kind of hit or miss with these. I do like when they kind of go back and do more historical things of the puppets being used to avenge the Nazis. It's kind of like Child's Play meets Schindler's List.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like the franchise a lot. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead, Trench. Go ahead.
Well, I haven't seen the newer ones, but I've seen the first 9 multiple times. Well, besides the 8th one, because, that's a thing. But I like them all. Even the 6th one, even though the 6th one rips off a movie from the 70s called, it's a snake movie, and the 6th one rips it off beat by beat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I still
You've
like that
seen-
one. It's fun.
Wait,
I can't get mad either.
Isn't his the movie where with Oliver Reed, and if the snake bites you, you explode?
No, it's about oh, you can go ahead, Jen.
Oh, I don't want to cut you off, Trenchy. It's like a favorite of mine. Like it's about a dude. It's about a dude, and he does snakes, and like he has this apprentice dude, and basically the apprentice dude by the end of the movie turns into a cobra, and he has a daughter, and he falls in love with the daughter, and the daughter has like this pet like python, and and you know how terrified I am of snakes, and like one of the villains of the movie kills the girl's python. And I feel bad because it was like her pet, and like the dude turns into an actual cobra, and like it's a super low budget movie, Marty, like a super low budget movie. But the thing is like the effects aren't that bad. Like for as low budget it is, there's something it's kind of reminiscent of a full moon movie. There's something super charming, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Trenchy.
Oh no! I saw how excited you were, so I thought you'd be better to explain. You know the movie better than me, but Puppet Master 6 does the same exact thing, but with puppets.
Yep.
Okay.
I feel like we could do a double feature, Marty.
Trenchy, what the fuck have you landed me into?
Not bad.
Thank you, Trent. No, actually, that'd be an interesting double feature. It's actually a really good movie. Like, it's low budget, guys, but it's good.
Oh, yeah, this is good. Puppet Master 6 is fun as well. But it's the same. It's technically the same thing. I mean, there's slight differences, but it's
not much.
Technically the same exact plot. Even though they tried to convince you that this puppet that this guy's been carving out of wood is the same puppet you see at the end with this like little robotic video face of the human that we've been seeing the whole movie. And that's supposed to be the same puppet he's been carving out of wood. It's a movie, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's a movie, all right. That's quite a movie. But before we jump ship from the franchise, favorite puppet, Jen, in the franchise?
Oh God, I like Blade. Am I a cliche bitch? I like Blade.
No, he's cool. Tunneler is my favorite. Trenchy, who's your favorite puppet?
Head Coffin. My favorite puppet is Pinhead, and I always like Jester and 6-Shooter as well, but Pinhead's my favorite.
Yeah.
The newest one has a sexy Nazi puppet, apparently. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
I like that puppet as well, guys.
Of course you do.
Well, I mean, puppets and Nazis are sexy, right? Or is that wrong to say?
Moving on. Oh, Coffee Crew says Torch. Guys, before I move on, Nick, tell us what your favorite puppets from the Puppet Master franchise are, and I'd be interested to know. Just leave them in the comments there, or in the chat, whatever. I'm going to move on to one of my favorites in the movie. It is Tim Thomerson. He plays two of my favorite characters in the Full Moon universe, and because it is kind of its own MCU, but I absolutely love Trancers. Jack Death is back, and he's never even been here before. What a tagline! What a tagline, Jen! What a tagline!
It's like you said, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
Sending his subconscious back into the past to zombies.
He hunts down zombies. Trancers. Trancers are these creatures that inhabit humans, and he has to stop them. And his name is Jack Death, and he's played like a badass by Tim Thomerson. One of the best names ever. I love that name, Tim Thomerson. Like it feels like my balls are getting bigger every time I say it. Tim Thomerson. But yeah, Jack Dead, and he teams up with a sexy mall Santa played by a then unknown Helen Hunt to fight the Trancers, and he has to save an ancestor of his police chief who is a drunken baseball player who becomes a millionaire by the end of the movie. This movie is fucking Shakespearean, chef's kiss. But no, the movie reaches its zenith in the second part because Jack Deck is back, and he didn't go anywhere. He decided to stay in the past, stay with Helen Hunt, but his ex-girlfriend who dies is there, so she comes forward, and that causes a love triangle. And to make matters worse, they're all staying in the baseball player's mansion, and the Trancers attack, right? And one of the Trancers arrives, has a bag boy, and he's got a big bag of groceries. And all of a sudden they realize, wait, that bag's ticking! And he fucking Jack Death just picks up a big fucking hunk of ham and fucks it out a window before it explodes. And his ex-girlfriend is like, oh my god, Jack. And she's like fucking macking on him away. And Helen Hunt comes and, what's this shit? And his friend who owns the mansion where they're all staying, he's like, nice one, Jack. And Jack turns around and goes, you know what, McNulty? Next time someone gives you an exploding ham, I'm going to pass the mustard. I love that fucking line. It's the best line ever. Right, Trench?
I've never seen it, but this sounds like the greatest soap opera ever.
Oh, it fucking is. And his ex-girlfriend finds out that there's a Trancer farm in a psychiatric ward, so they have to break in and like fucking shoot up all the Trancers. And Jeffrey Combs plays an evil doctor with a villain tash, and he's like, yeah, we need to do a deal with the Trancers so we survive. And the police chief comes back, and he is to inhabit a body, but he realizes his ancestor is a woman. So before he goes transporting his consciousness, he keeps on touching his dick because he's going to miss his dick when he's transported into the body of his female ancestor. It's a great movie. Fucking Jesus! If you haven't watched it, lads, you need to watch it now.
You
Mr.
said
Daniel
there's
Horror
two of
say
these.
it's on YouTube.
There's 4 of them.
Oh my god, that's great!
The last one is called Sudden Death because Jack Death comes back to the medieval times, and his name is spelled D-E-T-H. Death. Jack Death is brilliant. I love Tim Thomerson in this, and I love him. There's another movie you guys got to check out called Doll Man, right? Jack Death plays. No, Tim Thomerson plays. I forget the character's name, but it's essentially Jack Death. He plays the Dirty Harry of his planet, and he follows a criminal to Earth, but on their planet, they're only 12 inches tall. They're only 12 inches, and when they arrive down here, they're dolls, and that's how he gets the name Doll Man. And this poor kid finds him and thinks he's an action figure, so he takes him home, and essentially the single mother makes a deal. Okay, I'll help you find your ship and get back home if you protect the neighborhood. He's like, okay, and she goes into work, and it's like, what kept you? And she goes, I had to talk with a 12-inch man, and her co-worker's like, ooh, 12 inches.
So a gen, basically.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. You check out Doll Man, Trenchy. There's a brilliant bit where like there's a dude in a laundrette who's like fucking he's got like a bunch of children taken hostage, and Death comes in and he's like pulls out his gun and puts a bag up in the laundry machine, and the guy's like, fuck you, Death, I'm not giving up the hostages. And again, his name's not Jack Dead, but we'll say it's Jack Dead. He's like, I'm not here to save any hostages. I'm here to do my laundry. And he's just fucking underpants and shit into the machine. And the guy's like, I mean it, Death, I'll kill them. And Death's like, oh, fuck you. And he pulls out a gun. And one of the kids is like, oh my God, that's a Ruger blaster. That's right, fat kid. That is a Ruger blaster. It's like, you don't say that. Someone, I don't know. It's a brilliant movie.
What about when Dollman versus Demonic Toys, darling? Even though it doesn't really have much to do with anything, it was produced through Sci-Fi, I believe.
Yes. Do you know how it was made? They just mashed together clips from Demonic Toys and Dollman, and I think there's maybe 10 minutes of original footage. And that's it.
Yeah. Is that the same with Puppet Master? Because I know they did Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, but I haven't seen Demonic Toys, so I haven't watched it yet.
They probably recycled a shitload of footage, Trench.
Well, yeah.
One, Trench?
Because I know there's like movies on the Tubi where it will just be like dolls and monsters attack and stuff, but they just have movies of just clip shows of all their movies on Tubi.
But again, if you get a chance, guys, check out Dollman and check out Transfers. Transfers is brilliant. Like it's hot. It's a high concept sci-fi executed really, really badly, but wonderfully as well.
But again, it's kind of charming.
I love Dollman's brilliant as well because the movie starts off with Jack. He's sitting in his couch in the dark watching TV, and next thing some guy puts his hand through the letterbox and starts firing. For some reason, like Jack's couch is right next to the fucking door, so this dude just comes through the letterbox and starts shooting at Jack, and Jack's like, "Damn it, you blew up my TV!" So he shoots the guy through the door. It's a fucking silly movie. I think we've saved the best for last. I like to think we've saved the best for last.
Ghoulies?
Oh yeah. You want to talk about Ghoulies before we move on to the last movie?
Yeah.
No, that's
no. Trench wants to talk. Good, Trenchy, give us a rundown on what Ghoulies is.
Oh, Ghoulies are like Lovecraftian demonic creatures that get summoned from the toilet and create havoc. And the third one, they can talk.
Have they unique personalities, or are they all the same?
They're kind of like the Three Stooges if the Three Stooges were perverted drunken idiots.
Okay. Which one has like the which movie has the dominatrix with all the fucking guns?
I don't know. That might be the fourth one. I don't really remember that movie well because I don't think the actual Ghoulies are in it. It's just two like small people in cloaks. Okay. I haven't seen it in a while though.
Okay. I gotta check that one out. What Trench, do you think Ghoulies was kind of like the knock-on effect from because of Gremlins? We got things like obviously Critters, but we also got Munchies. Do you think Ghoulies is one of those kind of movies that tried to capitalize on the little monsters kind of craze that was around in the 80s?
Probably. I wouldn't call them rip-offs though because I think it's the same genre, but they are very, very different. Okay. They're very, because it's like they're not all the same. There's a rat one, there's a goblin-like one, and then there was a like a frog one at one point, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, yeah.
And the first one, Trench, does that take itself a lot more seriously than the latter movies?
The first one's weird. It has the Ghoulies aren't even really in it. It's I would say a little bit more serious, but it's still goofy. but it's weird. I like the third one the best because they don't give a fuck and there's just random stuff that happens in that movie. They kill a woman with a toilet plunger and they stretch her face out.
Okay. Okay, we check that one out. Check that one out. Jen, have you seen Ghoulies?
Yeah, I've seen Ghoulies. It's fine. It's fun. Like, I'm more of a Critters girl. I'm not gonna lie. I'm more of a Critters girl. But I don't mind Ghoulies for what it is. I'll take it. Hot take here. I'll probably take them over fucking god damn it, Gremlins. Honestly, I'll take them over Gremlins.
What,
at least
Ghoulies over Gremlins?
Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm throwing. Hi, full moon. I'm throwing down my gauntlet.
Trenchy, can you see any bottles of alcohol or bags of cocaine in the background there behind Jen?
I'm saying, if I'm not talking about part 2, because I'm one of those weird people that prefer Gremlins 2 over the first one.
I love the first one, but I prefer the Rick Baker designs over the Chris Wallace ones.
I get you. I don't know why that one charms me more, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. I don't mind them. They're silly. They're fun. Trenchy's right. The third one kind of they go batshit crazy. But if I'm gonna watch this kind of stuff, then I think Critters did it just a little bit better. I like the little fur balls of anger, even though some of their movies are awful too. So, I'm just a Critters girl at heart, though.
Oh. There's another one Full Moon did with little monsters, but they're not tiny. It's called The Creeps, and it's great because a mad scientist tries to bring the universal monsters back to life, but they come to life, but they're dwarves, and they're trying to get back to the original size, and it's a great movie.
Okay, should we check that one out?
Yeah, Jen might like it. A woman tries to have sex with a book. It's really weird.
Yeah, I'd like that.
With a book?
Yeah, I don't know, she starts rubbing it against her boob and making noises. It's like a really old book.
Vital question, Trenchy, is it a hardback?
I don't know. I think it's hard. I don't know.
It was probably a hardback when she was finished.
That part's weird, but I really like it because the guy that plays Little Dracula is great. He's taking everything seriously and doing an Oscar-worthy performance. Well, the whole movie's insane. It's silly.
Okay, well, I'm going to check it out now. Just to see a woman molest a book. Jen's probably going to want to watch it.
Scott says it was probably the Karma Sutra book. That would be what I do.
I thought you'd get off to the Necronomicon or something like that.
Well, yeah, but you gotta spice it up, darling. You gotta have a little.
It's made from human flesh, skin on skin.
Hot. Is it foreskin? Is it made out of foreskin? That's always been my question.
What, the fucking Necronomicon?
Yeah.
It would have to be made out of multiple lads' foreskins.
Ooh, kinky.
Unless it was elephant foreskin or something. Jesus, I don't know. Right, moving on to our last. We saved the best for last. Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
And I'm gonna let Jen discuss this one. We have the absolutely gorgeous fucking Barbara Compton dominant out there. And that is obviously From Beyond. Jen.
Stuart Gordon.
What's your thoughts on From Beyond?
Okay, Castle Freak's my jam, but From Beyond is good, and it was wasn't it taken from Lovecraft as well? I'm not wrong on that.
Not a specific story, but elements from different stories. You have elements from Haunter in the Dark, Color Out of Space, some other stories and stuff, and they're kind of put together to make a very kind of, I don't know, pseudo
Hodgepodge.
scientific horror story.
Yeah.
Very pseudo scientific.
Barbara Crampton was my hero. Like, I wanted to dress like her. Little Jen wanted to be her. Big Jen wants to be her.
So if I had been covered in like giant maggot acid and was an invalid in bed, you'd gimp yourself out and have sex with me, even though I was passed out?
Yeah.
Why am I fucking even asking that? Fucking water is wet, the sky is blue. Jen didn't left me if I was fucking unconscious anyway. But I digress.
I mean, it's a good movie. It is. It's like I said. But see, the thing is like, I don't know. I like this movie, but it just something about, like, I like especially Barbara Crampton, you know, and you get to see. I think that is this the movie you get to see the most tits. Like, out of, you get to see tits in a lot of movies, but is this like the most boobage?
Prestorius does, like, when she's kind of bound up in the nightgown, he tears off her fucking blouse and he's grabbing her tits and stuff. Okay, before we go on, because we're jumping the gun here. So the movie starts off very much like Reanimator, with Jeffrey Combs being the survivor of a failed experiment.
Yeah.
And he's brought to a psychiatric ward and he utters the single dumbest yet terrifying line ever. He bit his head off like a gingerbread man. So him, Jeffrey Combs, and Prestorius made what is called a resonator, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it affects the pineal gland, which is basically a gland in your brain that lets you see other spectrums and lets you feel other spectrums and stuff. And the more exposed to this you are, the more the pineal gland comes out. And essentially it looks like a little willy coming out of your fucking head. It looks like a little dick. Jen would fucking agree with me on that topic anyway. Dredge, have you seen From Beyond?
This is a very horny movie.
It is. It's there's like, yeah, there was a lot of pineal glands coming out when this movie was being made. So Jeffrey Combs is given kind of basically said, look, we're going to commit you and we're going to put you in a funny farm unless you can show us what the fuck actually happened and that you didn't kill Prestorius. So he's assigned a doctor played by the gorgeous, absolutely fucking knockout Barbara Compton, and her kind of security guard played by Ken Forey, who's fucking brilliant in this as well.
Yeah.
And they go back to Prestorius's house to kind of work on the resonator and essentially see what the fuck they were doing. And yeah, things go from kinky to worse in like 90 seconds.
Ken Forey is one that it doesn't get talked about enough. Like, we always focus on Combs and Crampton, rightly so, but like, he's really good in this too. And he's like an unsung hero of horror to begin with. Like, look, you don't really, unless you sit there and think about it, you don't really think about how much Ken Forey is like done in horror movies. He's been in a lot of my favorites.
But there's he's also a great sense of levity in the id Your one is like, yes, it enhances everything in your mind and your spectrum and everything. Yeah, sure, Doc, but why did my dick suddenly get hard? It's like,
well, that would be my question too. But I mean, it's kinky, it's good. Is it your favorite of the Barbara Crampton Jeffrey Combs pairings? Would you say it's your favorite pairing of
definitely.
How come?
I love you to bits, but Crompton in that dominatrix gear.
Okay, I don't like the movie anymore. I used to really like it. I don't like it anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I think you're not alone. I think any red-blooded male, and probably some females too, love that scene. I mean, she does look incredible. Like, yeah.
That, and there is some really cool effects where the resonator is on and they're seeing the creatures that are appearing in the different spectrums, and when they mutate, like when Pretorius reappears and he turns into what's essentially a dick with appendages. He's essentially a giant fucking dick creature, and he's like
I think I would
feeling.
love this. This would be my favorite movie. Now, to hear you talk about it, you would think this would be my favorite movie.
No, I can understand as well. I can understand it. It's a gooey movie. There's a lot of goo in this movie as well. It's like fucking. They go into the basement to try and plug out the resonator, and Jeffrey Combs is attacked by a giant worm, and basically all his hair is dissolved. His skin is badly burnt, and they can't turn off the resonator. Fucking Ken Foree puts him into the bed because he's injured, and at the same time, the resonator is affecting Barbara Compton. And I'll let Jen set this up. So what happens, Jen?
Sexy fun time in a fucked
up
kind of.
It turns out Pretorius was essentially a fucking absolute fucking major sex pest.
Yes, he was.
BDSM. He's
kind of my hero. He's kind of my hero because, of course, he would be.
But go on.
Is it bad, Marty? I mean, is it bad was he a bad person or just horny? Horniness makes us do a lot of stuff.
He
Marty.
was a horny scientist. I'm wondering, was it the resonator that made him like a raging fucking horno? But
I always thought he was maybe it enhanced it a little bit, but it was there, it was part of his personality.
So anyway, the resonator's on. Crompton goes into his room, and she starts looking through his shit. And what happens, Jen? Give us the rundown. What happens? Because if I describe it, it'll just be me sounding skeezy.
I love hearing you sound skeezy.
No, you describe it. You describe it.
No, you go. I'm always the pervert on the channel. You go.
Okay, so she goes in and she starts touching all the leather stuff, and she puts it. And the way she dresses herself, it's really fucking sensual. And she's there all dommed up. She has the leather and the lipstick, and she looks over and she sees melted Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs looks like a dude who just about survived Chernobyl. And she's like, oh, okay. She sits in the bed, she pulls down the sheets, and she starts whacking him off to get him hard. And then she climbs on him, and I think she gets one or two strokes before Ken Foree comes in and is like, what the fuck is going on here? You're having sex with a dude who is now a milk dud. You get off. And she's like, no, I'm okay. She gives him this really kind of, she gives him this smile, this kind of like, she's like, okay. She gives him a smile as if to say, don't worry, hon. Once I'm done with this guy, you're next. And it's like, I don't know. I got that. I got that kind of impression that she would have jumped both.
Well, don't you think? I've always thought she was like a scientist on the outside and a sex kitten on the inside. That's kind of how I always have taken her character.
Well, like what? Nico on the streets and Freak in the sheets kind of.
Yeah,
job, yeah,
because she's very and stuff. And I mean, okay, you could make the argument. I have heard someone make this argument before. That's kind of why I was a little leery, because I wondered, because I never thought about it. But like, she wasn't doing it to be a freak. She was doing it for science, whacking him off.
The thing is, it's the resonator. Okay, I do believe you're right. That was there, but I think it's just the fucking resonator just making him like fucking crazy, because they have the most. Yeah.
I think it's part, but like it's her science. Like she's trying to, she's doing science things because you need to learn. Like how you jerk off someone will tell you so much. Which is true.
I it's like, in a way, it's kind of, oh, that's nice. The dude's on his deathbed, so she's like, okay, I'll give him a tug. And then when she climbed up, I was like, oh, we're doing this now. We're doing this now. And it's like, Jesus.
Well, that's the line you cross. It's okay to give a dying man a handy, but it's not okay to climb up on top of him and give him one last ride.
French, what's your thoughts?
I don't know. I did not know this about the movie. I just heard like it was like sci-fi and Lovecrafty, and I didn't know there was monster sex in it or anything.
I love that term, monster sex.
That's going to be Jen's new channel. What's that fucking saying? Sure, I'm the one she'd be fucking having sex with. It makes me a fucking monster. Anyway, never mind. I digress. Scott's
right. Elizabeth Shue did that to Nicolas Cage at the ending of Leaving Las Vegas. He's right. I love that movie.
He's dying from alcohol poisoning. This guy had been drenched in fucking interdimensional monster maggot vomit.
True, but do you know how hard it is to get? You know how hard it is to get hard when you like have alcohol in your system? Kind of the same thing.
Excuse me. Let me tell you, I've been out in the piss many a time, and I've had to saunter up to a lady at a right angle and go, "Hey, can I get you a drink?" Why are you walking like that? Back issues.
But I mean, it's the same thing. My God, Marty. So like leaving Las Vegas and beyond are like, oh my God, if they're like the same movies. That blew my mind, Scott.
Nicolas Cage doesn't develop a mini penis out of his forehead and starts eating people's eyeballs. What, Trench?
He grows a penis out of his forehead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Jeffrey Combs, he gets exposed to the machine, the Resonator, too much. And he essentially starts turning into a monster like Pistorius. And essentially, he sacrifices him. Sorry?
Pinocchio would be better.
Yeah. Oh. He sacrifices himself to save Barbara Compton. And I do like the way Barbara Compton was his doctor. She was like very skeptical about him. And she's like, okay, we got to do this. There's a pure rationality. And by the end of it, she's a fucking kind of cackling mess. Just like Holmes was at the start of the movie. Because she jumps out the window, breaks her 2 fucking legs, and it's just her fucking laughing her fucking whole off. I mean, she's laughing more than Jen did when that little girl saw that guy got stabbed in that fucking movie.
Or when her mother was dying.
Yeah.
You got stabbed?
No, Trench. We watched a movie where a dude was stabbed, and the main character from Vampire Diaries got AIDS and died in bed. I think Jen's frozen.
Wait, the main character of Vampire Diaries is in this movie?
No, not this movie. Oh crap. No, we're talking about another movie, Redeeming Love. It was the last trash fire we did. I'm gonna knock out Jen and let her out. She come back in again. At stream. Hopefully she come back.
Oh no.
From Beyond is a cool movie. If you get a chance, check it out.
It sounds cool.
It is cool. There's a lot of sex and a lot of kind of sexiness going on, but there's a lot of monsters. Ken Foree kicks arse. You have a dude turning into a penis monster, and you have flying kind of interdimensional amoebas and insects, attacking people.
That sounds dope.
It is. But yeah, Full Moon. Again, they've a weird catalog. It can go from stuff that's very kind of cheesy and silly to stuff that's, I wouldn't say highbrow, but it's definitely a lot more serious than prior
Yeah.
movies. You know.
And apparently they have children's films too. I haven't seen them though.
Wait. Full Moon has children's movies.
Yeah, they got like the one with the alien pet shop. I think that's a children's movie. And they got another one called Prehysteria with the dinosaurs, or Prehistoria where the little kid has the dinosaurs. I haven't seen them yet.
I saw that one. They're like miniature dinosaurs, and
Yeah.
they're found in an ancient temple. And there's a T-Rex, a pterodactyl, a triceratops, a brontosaurus, and a stegosaurus. And uh, there's the guy's big sister has a douchebag boyfriend, and he's like, "Oh, cool, where are the batteries?" Thinking they're toy dinosaurs. Jen's having trouble logging in.
Oh. But yeah, I think Moon brought that up as well. He brought up the dinosaur one.
Yeah, Prehysteria is good. Trying to think if I know the kid. He was in a bunch of stuff. He was. Do you know who he was? He was Arnold Schwarzenegger's kind of sidekick in Last Action Hero. That was the kid.
That kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
That's a movie we need to do a review on, or a trash fire.
Yeah,
Right.
you and Jen should do Trash Fire. It's well, I don't think it's bad though. I don't think it's a bad movie.
Jack Slater. Charles Dance is in that movie, and he's giving his fucking all. I mean, like, I don't know why Charles Dance doesn't get more fucking roles. I mean, he kicked arse in Alien 3, he kicked arse in that, and he also was Game of Thrones as Tywin Lannister. He is badass. He's a cool he's a cool dude. But I'm probably going to finish it up here. I'll see if Jen comes back in so we can wind things down. But have you any projects or anything in the future? I do. I will say, guys, if any of you are watching, check out Trenchy's DVD collection video because it's pretty cool. He's got a pretty cool collection. Him and his mom, they have a pretty cool collection.
I gotta finish it because that's only part one. Because there's like, I don't know. I don't really consider it a collection, but it's just like me and my mom's and like my brothers and sisters' movies and stuff.
Still, it's pretty cool because you got like a wide variety of movies. I think Jen's internet is acting the Mickey.
Yeah.
God damn it. God damn it. But Trench, have you any other projects or videos in the pipeline?
Nothing like right away. I have ideas, but I don't know when they will be executed.
Okay. Cool. And have you anything that you want people to check out that you have released already? Any old stuff that if they're going to your channel, what they should give a look to?
I don't know. I don't think I have a lot of good things. I don't know. Maybe the music videos. I really like those.
Cool.
But some of them are not as well executed. I could have done better.
I particularly liked your swamp adventure. You kind of went Trench Rambo. You're just
that was a thing.
That was badass. You got bigger balls than Green Berets and Bear Grylls, and fuck those guys. They have tiny testicles in comparison to you. I think Jen's internet is totally cactus. Hopefully she'll be able to log on. But no, anything else? if you haven't checked out Trenchy's channel, make sure to check him out. Also, Cara from Horror Retrospective. Check out her channel because her channel kicks arse.
Yeah.
And my lady Jen's channel as well. I just got to do a quick check on something. Because, wait.
Oh, John.
She's here.
Oh.
No, she's gone. Oh, damn it.
We're so
God
close.
damn it, Jen. Come back.
It's so close.
She turned into a pumpkin. It was like the reverse of fucking Snow White or Cinderella.
Yeah, Cinderella, yeah.
But, Trench, I do know that you said you want to do a thing for the new Percy Jackson.
Well,
like, are you going to review the show when it comes out? Or are you going to kind of do predictions, or what do you hope to do?
Well, the show is not coming out to 2024 apparently. So my plan is to re-get the books because I don't have the books anymore because stuff happened in childhood and sadly I lost them. But I'm gonna re-get the books and I want to try to reread them before the show comes out, and then I might do a predictions video because I do have some time. I might do a predictions video and like you said, maybe compare the original movies. It's not been gonna be as good as other people. There are bigger fans and stuff, but it is my favorite book series, so I want to try to do something for it.
Cool. So I'll keep my eyes peeled. Jen, babe, are you back to me?
Hello?
Jen, that pumpkin is silent. With that, guys, I'm probably going to finish up. Jen, you're muted. And just see, is she aware that she's muted? Aye. Try and see. But before I do go, I want to thank everyone who was in the chat. I want to thank Russell Dorsey. I want to thank Strange Monkey Reviews. Check out his channel. Grande's Graveyard, another awesome fucking YouTuber. Jane?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear us? Jane? Still, the audio's still gone. Also, check out Dan, Mr. Dan and Horror. We had, who else had we? We had Cara. Actually, check out Cara's channel, Horror Retrospective. Really cool channel. She's some really cool reviews. Scott Stevens, thanks a million. Dino, from the Late Late Horror Show. Check out his channel. Ben Grimm. Cara, Master of Fear. Adam Smith Productions. He called in. Nothing to do with horror, but Adam Smith. Hey, just wondering where you got your John Locke action figure. I'm on the hunt for that figure, for those lost figures. I got them ages ago, dude. That's okay, Jen.
You got a lost action figure? Like the dude in the wheelchair?
No, yeah. I'll show it to you at some stage. I'll send you the review. And then a figure review. Coffin Crew, thanks a million for stopping by. Full Moon, Chris, thanks a million for stopping by. Great for everyone stopping by. You guys are legends. Thanks a million. And make sure to check out Trenchy's channel. Make sure to check out my Mrs. Jen's reviews from the grave. And make sure to check out the awesome Cara from Horror Retrospective. And with that, guys, I'm going to sign off. Have a good night now.
Stay frosty.
Bye-bye.